Hello my fellow handsome gentlemen, I'm Piotr Grodnik from Men's Improvement, the channel that's dedicated to make you look, feel, smell and be like the best possible version of yourself. This video is a fragrance review specifically about Club de Nuit Intense Man by Armaf. This fragrance is mostly known for being the best clone of Creed Aventus, one of the most popular and most complimented men's fragrances. One of the reasons it's very popular is because it is supposedly identical to Creed Aventus. And the second reason is that this is way cheaper. To start off this review, I'm going to start with the price. This fragrance right here is significantly cheaper than its counterpart Aventus because this costs around $80 to $110 for 100 or 200 ml bottles, whereas Creed Aventus costs between 220 to 350 bucks. This is significantly cheaper than Aventus and therefore is a valid reason for its popularity. In terms of the notes, this has pineapple, bergamot, patchouli and lemon. To name the notes that I pick up the most from this fragrance right here. But in this fragrance what shines the most is the lemon and the bergamot, whereas in Aventus I feel that the pineapple and bergamot is what shines the most. So I definitely get the similarity of the note breakdown, and you would definitely think that this would be an identical fragrance if you only read the notes. There's also a reason why I mentioned Club de Nuit Intense Man in the video I made a few months ago, why you maybe shouldn't buy Creed Aventus, but if you want a fragrance that kind of smells like Aventus but is way cheaper, you could buy some of these fragrances. I've made a video about that you can watch up here if you're interested in buying a fragrance that smells very close to Aventus but isn't nearly as expensive. Let's talk about performance. I feel that this lasts for around 7 to 8 hours, whereas Aventus lasts to around 7 to 9 hours. So I think that Aventus has a slightly better performance, but it's not significant. Here I have Club de Nuit Intense Man and here I have Aventus. Yeah, they pretty much smell the same on a tester strip. There's very small difference in between these. I think it's very impressive that this lasts almost as long as Creed Aventus for not as high as a price as Aventus. It's very interesting how long this lasts compared to the price of this one and Aventus. It's crazy. In terms of sillage, it isn't very special. If someone was to smell this on me, they either needed to be up close at my neck area or I would give them a hug. I needed to be very close to them, or I would need to go past them or be around 1 meter to them. So a sillage isn't anything special, but again, compared to the price, it's very decent. The compliment factor though is undeniable. Creed Aventus is known for being one of the most complimented men's fragrances in the world. I have it right here. It just smells amazing and I love Creed Aventus, no doubt. It's one of my most favorite fragrances that I have ever smelled. It's not as good for me as, for example, my last review, Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum, but Creed Aventus is undeniably one of the most complimented men's fragrances, and I understand why, because it is such a good fragrance. Since Club de Nuit Intense Man smells so close to Creed Aventus, you can't deny that this will also give you a lot of compliments. I don't know if it will give you as many compliments as Creed Aventus would, but I'm very sure it would give you nearly as many, because this one also smells amazing just like Creed Aventus does. Now my final opinion and rating. I was very pleasantly surprised about how good and how close this is to smelling like Creed Aventus and how good this fragrance actually is for itself. Before I ever got to smell this fragrance and include it in my video about fragrances you should consider buying instead of Aventus, I've heard a lot of reviews on websites like Fragrantica about what people think of this fragrance and how they rate it compared to Aventus and other fragrances. But I'm blown away how accurate some of these reviews are. I'm blown away about how similar this is and how good this actually smells. But in terms of the rating, I will not rank this as high as I would Aventus, because Aventus is the OG. Aventus is the fragrance that started the craze of making Creed Aventus clones, because Creed Aventus is for a reason one of the most complimented fragrances, and a lot of other brands out there want to accomplish the same. So I'm not going to give this as high of a score as Aventus, but my final rating of Club de Nuit Intense Main by Armaf is an 8.5 out of 10. In comparison to what I would give Creed Aventus of a rating is an 8.6. So this one is very close. This got an 8.5, this got an 8.6 for my rating, and that is because Creed Aventus is an amazing fragrance. Yes, I agree, but this one is so identical that if I didn't know that this was Aventus and this was Club de Nuit Intense Main, I would say this was the same fragrance, and that is a compliment to Armaf because they did an amazing job cloning Creed Aventus, and I must say very well done. But I will never give a clone of a fragrance as high or higher a score than the original. The original will always be a higher rating for me unless the clone is either as good or better. I feel that Aventus, since I told you it has longer performance, I will rank this a little bit higher since this got an 8.5 and this got an 8.6. But again, I don't think that a clone should ever have a higher score than the original unless it's not a better fragrance than the original, and I think this one is nearly as good as this one. And I will also rate this lower than Creed Aventus because if you wear Creed Aventus, you will feel more confident by wearing Creed instead of Club de Nuit Intense Main, because as long as you know that you're wearing an expensive brand of fragrances, you feel more confident if you were to wear Armaf, because as soon as you put on this fragrance, you know that this one is not Creed, you know that this one isn't Aventus, you know that you didn't pay up to $350 for this fragrance, you know that you bought this for 80 to 110, whereas you know that you spent the big bucks on this fragrance, Creed Aventus, so therefore you will automatically feel more confident wearing this instead of this. But again, amazing fragrance, Armaf, very well done, amazing fragrance. I highly recommend this one if you don't want to spend as much on this. So this was my review of Club de Nuit Intense Main by Armaf. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more videos like this on skincare, fitness, fragrances, style, fashion, and a lot more content for you guys to enjoy. Don't forget to press the notification bell also so you get notified every single time I upload a new video for you guys in order for you to become the best possible version of yourself. Until the next video, smile more, it's free.